Hi everyone, my name's TheStressBall. A few of you have been asking for a tutorial on how to use the art tool or how to make detailed art. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. Okay, the first thing I'm going to explain is where is the art tool and what can it do? So there are actually two kinds of art tools that we have. The first one is called the poly tool and the second one is called the art tool. I'm mainly going to talk about this one, the art tool, but you can also do stuff with the poly tool. For instance, you can draw stuff and then you have a shape. So it's possible to make art with the poly tool, but since the new update, this is mainly used for creating custom items, custom shapes, and the art tool is overall just used to draw whatever you want. So what can it do? If you select it, you will see that there's this menu. This tells you how much verticals you have left. So when I place one down, there's 99 left, which means that I can pretty much draw like 100 lines. The second thing you'll see is that I have a shape color right here. So I can select any color I want and then my shape will end up with a color. Now then there's an outline color. So you can select a color for your outline. If I were to select red, my shape is going to get a red outline. You can barely see it when I zoom in. I can't really zoom in. Black is pretty visible, so there's that. And if you press this thing right here, it's gonna have no color at all. Same goes for the color. So if I press that, I just have art with no color, so that would make no sense. But for instance, you can make no color, but you can make an outline and then you'll end up with a line like that. Last thing we have is opacity, which means that I can make it possible to look through my shape. Okay, so that's it for the menu of the art tool. Now if I click once, I can place down a dot, so that is where my shape is going to start. And then I can go ahead and click, and then move here. And if the shape turns black, you can click to finish it. Let's say my shape is like this, but I don't want this line right here. I can press Ctrl and then Z, and then it's gone. I can also press Ctrl Y, and then it's back. Okay, so Ctrl Z, Ctrl Y. Okay, if you are drawing a shape, and you press Enter, you're done. So it's only going to give outlines, because you can't fill it up, it's opened. So that may be useful for when you want to write something like the word hi, enter. See, I can just write down hi in outlines and you can read it. And that way you can also make really small art only by using lines. If I'm drawing and I place one dot, and then if I place down one dot, then I can hold my left mouse to give a curve to the line. As you can see, it's curved right now. Okay, make a normal one and then hold, and as you can see, I can make all kinds of curves. Now personally, I'm not a big fan of this because it's pretty hard to work with, but you can come up with pretty cool shapes like this. So if you're really good with the art tool, it may really help you. If you create a shape but you are not happy with it, you can double click it and then you can see all the verticals you have made. And for instance, I could delete this by pressing backspace. I can delete this. I can move this here. I can double click it and then give it an angle. So there's pretty much a lot I can do. The next and more advanced thing I want to talk about in this tutorial is how you add shading to your objects. Because as you can see, I picked an old speed art I made, and I think it looks more realistic than just a normal mountain made out of shapes only. What I did is I added a lot of shadings. So this is my basic color, 8888, well, you know. And then there is this color, it's a little bit brighter. This one's a little bit brighter as well. And then this one is the brightest. And as you can see, I placed them on top of each other to create some kind of shadow light effect. And what that does is it shows that there's light here and that there's darkness here. So that must mean that there's a pattern of some kind of rock. And that makes the mountains look more realistic. So if you want to make your shape look a little bit better, then a very simple thing you can do is select, let's say we are going to work with this color. Then pick a lighter color and another lighter color, and set it to the darkest, and then you can go ahead and add the lighter colors. Okay, this is not actually how you should do it, but these are the basics. If you look at my mountains, that's pretty much what I have done there. This is really exaggerated because the shading doesn't look like that. It's a little bit, yeah, it's an exaggeration of what I did here. So you can see there's a brighter color here and a darker color here. Also, if you move more to the background, so you can see this mountain is behind this one. I made it look more gray and more light. So the more it is to the background, the more gray and the more light it looks. And that gives the illusion of distance. So if you want to add distance in your objects, then make them more gray and make them lighter. That's going to work. If you're working with a night themed level, you can try to make them darker. That also works. If you are working with a floor, another tip I can give you is that you can add layers of shading from the bottom to the top, starting with dark and then all the way up it becomes lighter. And what that does is it shows that the sun is up here and it's lighting the top, and the more you go down, the less sun there is. So that makes this hill look kind of round. And well, altogether I created it this way, so that's what you're seeing right now. The next thing I want to talk about is how you can use textures to make your level look better. If you are working on different things, you also need to know that they have different textures. For instance, as you can see right here, there's wood, and wood has a really edgy and spiky texture. So you can see there's a lot of points and not a lot of round curves. But if you look at this cloud right here, there's a lot of round shapes and not a lot of points. So when you are going to draw something, then make sure that you look at the texture of it, because that really matters. So let's say we are creating wood, then you want to make this edgy and spiky texture. Then make sure that you place the dark thing on the right and the bright thing on the left. You can also do it the other way around, but it depends where your light source is. For me, my light source is the moon right here, so everything I'm creating is worked to the moon. So my bright side is aiming at the moon, and my dark side is away from the moon. And that way it looks like the moon is making a shadow on the right of my wooden shape, and that gives my level some kind of 3D effect. The last thing I can really tell you is that the more you zoom in and the smaller you work, the better your level is going to look. So what I want to say is that the more shapes you add, the better it's going to look and the more time it's going to take. So that was my tutorial on how to make better and detailed art and how to use the art tool. If you like my tutorial, then please support my channel by subscribing or liking this video. If you have a request, then make sure to leave it in the comments and I might make a tutorial about it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.